The first handheld I ever had was some sort of I don't know even how to describe it. It was just Tetris game, right? And after that, I had a couple of more of those, which had the whole console, well, the whole handheld, but exclusively just for one game. And then it came with this. This is Game Boy, right? And you all know about that one. And as you can see, it's really old. I think it's like 30 years old or something like that. Then eventually I skipped to Game Boy Color, which also was really cool, and I had the ability to switch all the games from Game Boy to Game Boy Color. Now I'm not going to go back to history and describe all the games and everything because we have something here that brings back nostalgia, and I'm really enjoying this. This is Antec's in collaboration with Neo Core Micro handheld. And boy, it's really fun. It's really fun that it took me around 2 hours to prepare this before even going and talking in front of the camera for you guys to tell you everything about it. So, what's interesting about it is that you can download through Android because it has an Android platform. You can download all the emulators to basically go with Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Namco, Capcom. It just, the list goes on, and it's really a long list. You have to download ROMs and then place them on, well, basically on SD card or internal storage. It's all up to you. Now, the cool thing, what I noticed is, and what I tested, it reads 2 terabyte micro SD card, and luckily Team Group has one, so I actually tested out and it does work. You just, I mean, imagine filling up 2 terabytes of games that are a couple of megabytes, or eventually for PlayStation they're going up to 500 megabytes, and you have 2 terabytes of storage inside. Plus, you have 256 gigabytes of internal storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So that's totally insane. The cool thing about it is that it's like a Game Boy when we're talking about the size, and it doesn't even populate the whole Game Boy. So this is outstanding. On the left side, you have the micro SD card, L1, L2 at the left top, and R1, R2 at the right top. You have plus and minus for adjusting the volume, and you have fingerprint reader at the top, and this is also a button that opens it up, and then you can place a pin or whatever you want to go for a quick access, or just keep all of that and just have immediate access when you press the button, because apart from being a fingerprint reader, it's also a power on button, so it can actually just skip the fingerprint if you don't want it. The sound on this one is actually quite solid, and I don't have to go too much into details because we're talking about a smaller handheld. It's not like Core HS that actually does perform much better when we're talking about in general games, because you can download your whole Steam library, and depending on the specs and depending on the intensity of the game, that's how much FPS you'll get. But when you access, there's an Neo here button that you have to press it, and then you have the performance option. So you have the current FPS, CPU temperature, CPU load, GPU temperature, GPU load, and fan speed. Now you can go with saving, balance, game, and maximum mode when we're talking about, and you can adjust it on the go. It's really that simple when we're talking about performance mode. After that, you can go with fan mode. Now, of course, if you're not using it drastically, if you're using like Game Boy games, you can definitely go with low to high. Fan, you can go with max. It's not even heard. So this is how it's good. And you have performance overlay, which means that it will show all of the stats right on top, and that's outstanding. For the controller, you have some options like key mapping, controller link, vibration, so you can adjust the vibration as well. Sound tap magic, key vibration, joystick. You can go with sensitivity, joystick inversion, range adjustment, ABXY. So you can go with JPN or standard, and then we go with handheld, brightness, volume, airplane mode, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, widgets. You can adjust the widgets if you want to, and settings with update. So update is really straightforward. When you press the button on top to power it on, it really gives you immediate, well, basically shows you immediately if it has some updates, if it's connected to Wi-Fi. So that's really good. The cool thing is you don't have to have Wi-Fi. If you have all the games on your SD card, you're good to go, and you can actually just go and game. Now, the button here for INEO, if you press it once, it actually goes into the performance controller, handheld, and all the other functions. But if you hold it, it goes into some sort of an Android background with all the apps and everything all together. You can swipe from the top. You have then settings as space in Play Store. To be honest, I did have a bit of a problem because I honestly don't know. I'm not an Android user, and I have to admit that I use iOS. So I didn't know with the emulators and how to go and adjust everything, right? But when you go and deep dive a bit, it's really straightforward. So you have to download ROMs somewhere from the net, right? You find them, you find some solid websites that don't have some viruses on or something similar to that look kind of trustworthy. You download them to your SD card, you go directly with iSpace. Then you have the options with the library. Now you have options with all games. You have what you import, of course, PS2, Game Boy Color, PlayStation, and then you can go with add game platforms. Now here you have loads of stuff. And when I say loads of stuff, I'm just going to name a couple that are the main category. So Nintendo, Sony, Sega, SNK, Capcom, Bandai, Atari, Commodore, loads of others. This is insane. The list really goes on and on. So all the games that you can find that can be emulated, you can download them and play here. Uh, Type C for charging. The battery is just wow. I've been using it 2 hours just to test out the games for and to record something for Instagram, for YouTube. And then prior to that, I used it for 3 more hours. And currently, it wasn't even charged, it was at 74%. Currently, it is at, let me just see, I think this is 16%. So that's outstanding. 5 hours, not completely gaming. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't gaming constantly. I did access games and I did play Batman Return of the Joker. I did play the Pokemon Silver and Tetris and whatnot. I didn't even manage to go with PlayStation because I didn't find the proper emulator that will actually run this game. Now, for some specs, you have it in 3 colors, and this is also really cool. It comes in silver, black, and red. And I'm really digging this silver one, but the red one actually looks quite cool. And it's really pocket size. So you can carry it around. I mean, you do need your phone in general when we're talking about that, but you can carry it around. It's really that easy. And the only thing that might prevent you from placing it in your pocket are the joysticks, and that's it. We have 3.5-inch touchscreen display with 100% sRGB color coverage, which is quite impressive, I do have to admit. And you can adjust the size of the screen and everything all together, and it's just that simple. Delivers up to 6 to 8 hours of gameplay. Dual hole sensor joysticks, responsive L1, L2, R1, R2 buttons, lightweight form factor without a doubt. It's really that cool. We have aluminum housing and the backside is plastic. I do have to mention. We have glossy part with the touch screen in the middle, and it does leave fingerprints. So this is type of product that you either have to carry around your microfiber cloth, or you just try to go as much with the controls, with the buttons and the joysticks as possible. So with Aya Space and Aya Home, you can manage and organize your game library. It's simple, but until you get a hang of it, I do have to say that. For the 3.5-inch IPS screen, we have a resolution of 960 x 640. We have MediaTek Helio G99 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage, 2600 milliampere hours of battery. And when we're talking about battery, you have USB Type-C charger inside the box, of course. Dual hole sensor joysticks, D-pad, L1, L2, and R1, R2. The hole dimensions are 156 x 63 x 18. 233 grams. Android, it doesn't say which actually Android. And for connectivity, we have USB Type-C, we have micro SD slot, Wi-Fi 5, and Bluetooth 5.2. Now, what you have inside the options, and specifically for the Antec, all of the black, gray, and red come with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. Now, when we're talking about the price, The price for this one, specifically for the gray one, is 279 euros. The red and black, for some strange reason, are cheaper, around 250 euros. Now, if you go and check out the Ioneo website, and at the moment that I was recording this video, the price was $280, I think. Dollars. I think they were dollars. And that's quite all right. I mean, if you get Ioneo, it's 280. You get Antec, it's 250 for some strange reason. I don't know how, but I guess it is what it is. But I would say that I haven't tested any emulators or handhelds that are in this type of category, and I do have to admit that. Is the price fair? I don't know. If your nostalgia pushes you back to all these games, as I enjoy playing Batman, the old Tetris, and Pokemon. Unfortunately, I had on Pokemon Yellow 170 hours, all almost like the first 10 or 20 Pokemons were at 100 level, and unfortunately, on the cassette, or I don't know how it was actually properly called, the battery died after 15 years. So, yeah, that was a shame. But regardless of that, this is a cool gadget, handheld, brings back memories, nostalgia, and you can play all those games right on top of your fingers. Really easy. Charging it with USB Type C, that's really cool. Memory card goes, micro SD card goes up to 2 terabytes. I'm quite satisfied. I'm going to set it up properly because I was doing this just for the video and just to set up all the games as much as possible in this short period of time, to give you some sort of an insight, because I still have my Core HS, which is also an advanced version in terms of playing Steam games, right? But this is really outstanding and really brought a smile to my face when I turned on Batman, first and foremost. And let's be honest, I really don't know how to play this game anymore. Back in the day, I actually knew how to pass it on hard from the beginning till the end without any flaws. And right here, I'm just like a 6, 7 year old playing it for the first time. And wow, I mean, just cool. So don't think the nostalgia is making my final conclusion. And I think the price for the premium product, in terms of the chassis, in terms of everything that I mentioned, is just quite all right. I would say quite all right. Specifically, if you go with Antec Core Micro, which is cheaper than Ioneo. I don't know if prices change in the meantime, but what's there left to say? Guys, this deserves a PC Crazy approved badge. Maybe like 10% for the nostalgia, just 10%, not more. But I would say, yeah, thumbs up to Antec and Ioneo for basically bringing this product to the European market in general, because before this I never ever heard about Neo. So yeah, that's quite cool. And if you're interested in checking out all three colors, I'll place the links in the description so you can order yourself one if you're down for going back to these type of games. So guys, hopefully I will have some time to game a bit, just to enjoy and go back in time. And yeah, that's it. I'm not going to mention that anymore. This is it, guys. The links are in the description, as I mentioned. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.